Hey guys, welcome to What in the World? Steve! Oh man, come on man. Try to make it look good. There we go, better. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the Mahjong scam. Now, do you know that every single organization always has its bad? Yeah. And that's the same with our organization, right? We had an elder, right? He, not only slipped and slide, he jumped from the, another heading to us because, he knows that, if he doesn't, he was going to get chased and he was going to get, now's the time to get that guy. Yeah, because he's a C, you know what I mean? Yeah, so he jumps to our clan in order to get our protection. And then, so, as soon as he jumps clan, he has a new scheme, right? So he gets all these fellas, all right? And what he does is he gets his wife or his girlfriend. I don't know who, because I don't really associate with him that much, I just see him and just go, yeah, well, he is an elder, so, have to pay him that respect. Yeah, so what he does is he gets his fellas, he gets his wife, right, to go play Mahjong with all these other ladies, So, they're playing Mahjong and stuff, and then, while the ladies go to the toilet or, they're having their lunch break or a meal, the wife or the girlfriend goes into their wallet and then grabs their keys. Because the Mahjong session's, a long time, you know what I mean? Sometimes it goes for 24 hours, Because in Chinese, they go, 今晚打唔到36圈唔准走啊, which means, mate, if we don't, play 36 rounds tonight, no one's allowed to leave home, So, that they go, okay, let's go. 又放工,打餐懵, So, so they finish work or, they have their weekend thing. Come on, man. They have their weekend thing and then, as soon as the ladies go to the toilet or as they have their meal break, the wife takes the keys and then puts it in her pocket, calls the boys, drops them off the balcony or some shit. I don't know what they do, And then the boys take the key and then go to these ladies' houses. Because in a Mahjong table, there's 4 players. So, she can always get at least one of the, one of the ladies each time or whatever, right? And then, once they get the keys, the kids straight away, the fellas straight away go to their house and then ransack it, And then after it gets ransacked, this shitsy, has a look. Yeah, okay, what'd you fellas get? And then, the fellas get what they get, and then they pawn it, and then they do whatever with it, And this scam's been going on, for a while, So, but what I heard later was that this big brother of theirs didn't even give the kids, the fellas that did the work, their fair share, Just grab it off them and then don't really divide them much, And they're doing the work. Yeah, what a shit dialogue that is. Yeah. So and he's also the one, right? He's also the one that when I was a kid, he goes, hey Dragon, why don't you look after this store, and then I'll pay you 400 a week, but you just have to put your name on it. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, so a wolf in sheep's clothing, it's always like this, I swear, if you guys have watched a cartoon, my favorite, The Lion King, because I'm Simba, and then, it's always like the hyenas, I mean, even he's got that look like this, because he's a real shit C, and even when it came to the election, right, what a dumb C, who, no logic, right? Because people that are stupid, they're just stupid. They think they're a rascal and they think they're guap, you know what I mean? But they're the most dumb people of all, man. If you want to be really smart, be righteous and be authentic. And then, that's where you'll get voted in, But if you want to be a dumb C and then rascal everyone and then do bad, right? You know what this guy does, right? don't give a shit if it's my elder, you know. My rank's higher than him now. You know, but you know what he does? He goes, you know, oh, the election's up, you know, because actually this is another story, you know. You know, the election's up, so you know, I want to be the, you know, chairman. I want to be the chairman, you know, mate. You don't raise your hand up like, you know, to ask to be a chairman. You freaking get voted in by the seniorities, dickhead. But anyway, so like, you know, in a wolf in sheep's clothing, you just have to remember, you know, if you're playing Mahjong with like, you know, some ladies, just be careful when you go to the toilet and shit. Because, you know, you might just have to take your handbag with you, man. Because, like, you know, while you're in the toilet or, you know, when you're having your morning coffee or Chinese tea, they might be taking your keys, man. And then, like, you know, getting the fellas to ransack your house. So remember that one, guys. So that's a lesson for you guys. Old school scamming. But it still happens, right? Because, like, you know, we Chinese love playing Mahjong. And, you know, north, east, south, west, which lady can you trust? Which guy can you trust? Because you know what? On the table, you're trying to win the game anyway, right? So outside the table, they're trying to win your game by ransacking your house. So a lesson for you guys. Have a lovely day and we'll catch you later, yeah? Love you. Have a good one. Bye.